Back to the big program, 10:03 in Edmonton. Kevin Karius, Duke of Delbert, and Josh Fenwick with you here on a Tuesday morning. Going to switch gears and talk a little soccer, Northern Super League soccer with President Christina Litz. Good morning, Christina. You're with Kevin Karius. Thanks for jumping on Sports 1440 this morning. Really appreciate it.
Thanks, Kevin. It's great to be here.
So, first of all, there's a little screening at the old Citadel where you guys are going to be at today. It's called The Pitch, and it's been out there for a little bit. But basically, this is about the documentation of how this league is got started. Maybe just to give us a rundown on what people can see at Citadel today.
Well, first of all, it's just great to be here in Edmonton. Diana Matheson, co-founder of the league, and I landed early this morning. And we're really excited to bring this documentary, The Pitch, to Edmonton. The Pitch is a documentary that was made that followed Diana and the folks that were early in thinking about bringing the first pro league for women soccer players to Canada. And there was a documentarian at the time who found out Diana was working on this. And of course, everybody knows Diana from the Canadian women's national team and her amazing goal in 2012 that really set off that passion that Canadians have had for this women's national team and who have just outdone themselves on the international scene. And so she had heard Diana was thinking about this and asked her if she could basically follow her around to see if this dream of Diana and her teammates on that national team, including Christine Sinclair, if it could come to life. And so this is a really rare opportunity to see almost from the idea to the struggles that Diana went through. And it follows also the struggles and the fight for equality that our Canadian women's national team has had over the years and really gives a insight into why this league is so important and why it's going to leave a legacy for future Dianas, future Sinclairs in this country. So we're just excited to bring it here. We know what a big women's soccer fan base is here in Edmonton. Diana and I were just over at Commonwealth and they still have posters and pictures up of when her team played here. Back some years ago. And so we're thrilled to be here.
Before I want to ask you about that as well, but you know what, Christina, it's similar but different. I remember 40 years ago when, the Oilers were documenting the boys on the bus and, it's such a different thing, but it's so important to have that because it's such a big part of history. And I think maybe 20 years down the road when, young girls, young women, owners, whatever, are looking at this documentary, they're going to go, they'll have that same feeling. It's so important to have that first step to start the history in that process.
Yeah, I really agree with you on that. And especially right now, because we're seeing history being made with women's pro sports, not only in this country, but around the world. And I know you guys have seen it up close with, some of those games that the PWHL and WNBA has played here. And now, like, if you think about it, 3-4 years ago, none of these leagues existed. And now we're going into 2026 here, with the PW, who've been around a couple of years, it's our second year, and the Toronto Tempo enter the chat as well. And so to be able to sort of see the driving motivation behind people, and really it's a lot of athletes who believed in this from the very get-go amongst, people who just didn't believe that anybody would show up, that anybody would watch. And so to see that story essentially having a happy ending, although it's just the beginning of the story, I think, you're right. It's going to be something we look back at and mark as a really important time in not only sports history, but Canadian history.
Yeah. Well, and again, I think you were talking about in 2002 when the under-19 women's worlds were here in Edmonton. And I mean, our city honestly, I can't remember, enveloping and just kind of putting their arms and wrapping them around a young team like this Canadian team that did so well. I mean, it's a memory for our city. And I don't know if you remember it, and I don't know if you were in Winnipeg at the time or wherever you were, Christina, But I mean, it was a wonderful memory for not just our city, but soccer in our country.
Yeah, you're right. And you'll see in this film tonight, I believe there's a scene in here that Steph Labe, who's from Edmonton, and she's one of our sporting directors, but also was that goalkeeper for the national team, who we're also proud of. She talks about being at that game and kind of making a decision then and there that this is something that she wanted to do. And so you never know what these moments are going to do, to inspire little girls. And the thing that I always say too is, we're seeing so many young boys come out to these games as well. And to me and to the people who work on this, that's really exciting because they're now growing up in a time when their heroes, are going to be as much Connor McDavid as it's, going to be, Tanya Boychuk, who's also from Edmonton and plays on the Montreal Roses. Like there's all, it's just a different generation that we're really starting to see change.
Northern Super League president Christina Litz with us on the Kevin Karius show on Sports 1440. Well, going back, I mean, I remember everyone does Christina Sinclair, and then, but Kara Lang I think she was 15 or something like that.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it was unbelievable. So,
yeah. And Kara's one of our broadcasters now, because that's the other thing that this league and the leagues like ours have done is providing opportunities not only for athletes, but for media people and for coaches and scouts and medical professionals. Like, again, a whole new industry. I think we did a bit of an economic impact for our league just in the first year. And we believe we over 500 jobs created out of this league and from people that haven't necessarily had the opportunity to work in pro sports before.
Right. Well, so Christina, here we go for year number 2 of the Northern Super League. What did you learn from year 1 that you are going to take into year 2 and make it bigger and better?
Yeah, I mean, first and foremost, we are so happy that we learned Canada has an appetite for a women's pro league. We saw several times over and over again that we can fill stadiums of 15,000 fans, and we had one of the top-rated soccer properties on TSN last year. They were watching, and so we just need to get better. Last year was very much startup year, and so this year is about stabilizing the boring stuff of the business while also using that momentum to grow. So you'll see a lot of great players. And I think the thing to watch this year that should keep your folks excited. Yeah. While we have our Men's World Cup here this summer, this is also the march to the Women's World Cup in 27. And today, for example, on TSN, you're going to see 3 of our NSL players up with the national team on an international friendly against Korea, where there's actually 2 other NSL players on the Korean team. Start following us and follow that story of that journey from now that is happening in your own country, here in Canada, as they ascend to the world stage and play for their country.
Oh, it's cool stuff. Christina Litz, Northern Super League president, our guest on Sports 1440. For you personally, Christina, what did you learn with your time in the CFL, and then even working with, I guess, with True North? What did you learn from those franchises to take from there to what you want to see the vision moving forward here with the NSL?
Well, first of all, I have so many fond memories being out here in Edmonton when I was with the CFL. My last year was Edmonton Grey Cup here, and just being at Commonwealth just now and seeing some of the guys work out. It's I love the CFL, and really what that taught me is how big time a league across Canada can be. And I had the privilege at the CFL of being able to visit every single market and understand also that local is so important, and every way in which our teams show up in the same way it was with the CFL. Every city has their own vibe, their own fandom, their own rituals, and sometimes folks just sitting in their high towers in Toronto forget that. And so to me, I bring that with my experience to the NSL and understand that every single market is incredibly important and needs to be treated differently. And then, True North, it's really about that avid fan base that you see and what it takes to nurture that. And they, the group at True North from a business perspective was the best of the best. And so if I can bring a little bit of what I learned there to pro women's sports, that's truly a dream come true for me professionally.
You know, I had so many opportunities covering the football team here, the Eskimos and then the Elks. And what happened here was that the team got away from media. And I don't have to tell you how media has changed here in the last bit, because there just is not as many media that cover anything. That's just the way it is. It's the reality of things. But what happened was here, especially in Edmonton, and I think sometimes across the CFL, we got away from covering the stories of the people, of the athletes, of the players, and there wasn't that connection between fans. So how do you take that and say, all right, we've got all these great young women in soccer, and as you said, there's an appetite for it. So how do you make sure that that is first and foremost to promote your players, your league, and everyone to the fans?
Yeah, I really think it's critical, and in a way, and I would say this is a little bit the same of the CFL. For women athletes, they're putting up their hand to have their story told, like, because they don't have kind of traditional media. They're not the top of Sports Center yet, and they're not, in that kind of regular part of the conversation. So first of all, from the athletes' accounts and social media themselves, like if you follow them, they're sharing their inside story and their inside versions, of what it means to be an athlete. And so part of our job is just to amplify that. We have a very, very close relationship with our players. This league was founded by players, with players in mind from the get-go. And as I've met so many, their stories are so compelling. And the story of coming back to Canada after playing, in countries around the world and finally having a league of their own, I think that's a secret sauce for, connecting with fans. And look, my time at the CFL, I still have, from a fandom perspective, I still have fans that I still chat with from time to time. Like I get that community, and so you have to win over fans one person at a time. Whatever sport you're in. And, I can't speak to whether I think the CFL has gotten away with that or not. I haven't been there, and there's so much good that they do. I would never speak of them that way, but I know for me personally, I'll never take that for granted. And we want to have an athlete first league and a fan first league at the NSL. And part of what we're doing in pro women's sports is kind of rewriting the rules, and we get the benefit of, looking at the mistakes of those above us and trying not to replicate this as we continue to build.
Christina Litz, Northern Super League president, our guest on the Kevin Karius Show. So about 10 days before we get things going here with Vancouver taking on Toronto, what's top of mind for you and everyone else staff-wise across the league to get things rolling here in the next 10 days?
Yeah, I mean, it's heads down right now. Our league marketing campaign kicked off yesterday. And so, take a look for that. There's going to be commercials and ads coming up, and we're just, we produce our own games for TSN and CBC. So, just fine tuning that and getting ready, some of the great stories that you're talking about to release when it comes out. But I just, we're just, inviting fans, and regardless of whether we have a team yet, this competition is really fun and really competitive. And we kick off on April 24th in Vancouver on TSN. With a rematch of our finals, which over 1 million Canadians watched last year. So come and check out. There's a lot of blood now building up in that rivalry happening between the teams. So it promises to be an excellent match, and we're just making sure everybody knows we're out there and come back to watch us in season 2.
Anything I'm missing here, Christina, as we close things out that you wanted to add, either about today's event at the Citadel or about the upcoming season?
Look, I think the one thing I would leave you with is one day we'd love to have a club here in Edmonton. We just think there's such a great soccer fan base here and women's sports fan base here. So for anybody coming to the Citadel tonight, if you want to come and talk to us about a franchise in Edmonton, Diane and I will be there, and we'd love to chat with you. Is expansion top of mind for everyone here? Or I always think about the CEBL too, right? Christine, in the sense they sort of, they wanted to see what they had first until they started to maybe expand a little bit. No, we've been out there saying we're going to add another club in 27. So we're finalizing some decisions around that right now. So an announcement coming on that soon. But definitely we'll bring another club in 28, and you never know, one of them could be here.
Maybe it's here in Edmonton. Christina, enjoy the Citadel, enjoy Edmonton in the next little bit for you, and good luck on the upcoming season.
Thanks for the time, Kevin. Take care.
That's Christina Litz, Northern Super League president. The season again gets underway Friday, April 24th, with Vancouver home to Toronto. Saturday, there's 2 games. Halifax takes on Ottawa, and then Calgary is home to the Montreal Roses. When we come back, the con man, Connor Halley's in the building. Lots to discuss fantasy-wise, lots to discuss Oilers-wise. And, the con man loves a shootout, so we'll have to talk a little shootout action with him as well. It's Kevin Karius Show with the Duke of Delburn and Josh Fenwick on Sports 1440 AM Radio. We're streaming on YouTube, X, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitch. All right, welcome back to the big program, 1022 in Edmonton. Kevin Karius, Duke of Delburn, and Josh Fenwick with you here on a Tuesday morning. Text 833-401-1440. Team Dean says, hey, KK, with your celebrity status and connections, could you get a report of which courses in Alberta are opening soon? The hockey gear's washed, done, put away. It's time to golf. I go, well, we're going to work on that. And he goes, whew, I'm having withdrawals. Tempted to drive down to Calgary. Well, I still think we're 10 days away for sure.
No, what golf driving range is open.
Yeah, the driving ranges are open, but Con Man comes in as we welcome in Connor Halley.
I wanted to do that for so long.
Holy smokes.
Duke does that to me every show. Right as I start the show, throws me right off.
It's the game of the day brought to you by St. Albert Dodge. You can land a 2026 Jeep Compass 4x4 for $36,900. It includes the 8.4-inch touch screen, active lane management, Apple CarPlay, remote keyless illuminated entry, the rear backup camera, the alarm, and more. We got 30 in stock at stalbertdodge.com as we welcome in the con man, Connor Halley, the king of shootouts. He knows every stat.
I'm all over
every
it.
stat regarding shootouts in the history of the NHL.
Top 5 in 1 year they had was really good.
Well, we were just saying earlier, con man, the Oilers had even overtime and shootout. It was like, okay, it's kind of automatic.
Yeah.
It
should be.
It never even got to shootouts most of the time.
Yeah. Sometimes it barely got out of the first shift.
Yeah.
McDavid Draisaitl ended so fast, whether it was Tyson Barrie or Evan Bouchard.
So it's been a while.
Yeah.
And
2023.
So no shootout wins this year. And the only other team, they didn't even get one. Utah didn't get to one at all. Well, they still have a chance.
It could happen. I had people telling me that because I said they could win the shootout for the first time since 2023, that I jinxed it.
Oh, stop it. Come on.
I have the power, apparently. If I would have said they're going to win, sure, blame me for it. It's one of the reasons I don't ever bring up a no-hitter in baseball. Dean Millard used to bug me all the time, but I would say I don't want to be the reason that people look back and say they blew it because you mentioned it. I just don't put myself in that
Millard
situation.
Was an old goalie. He should, it's the same with shutouts.
Yeah, well,
he said that all the time.
He would?
Oh, yeah. He didn't give up.
Oh, yeah. Because he would always tell me, I have no impact on the game. I'm sitting up in Canada. What impact do I have? And I'd say, I just don't want people to blame me, just in case. So,
wow. I haven't seen Dean Millard for a while.
Get him on the show.
Yeah.
Get him in studio. I think he's working with I forget who, JPHL?
JPHL?
Yeah. Doing play-by-play. Doing stuff like that. Dino and I worked together for a couple of years on the night show.
Well, sure. Well,
down the dial.
He was at Global for many years.
Yeah.
We had Dino and Johnny and myself for quite a number of years. We had, to be honest with you, when you think about the sports department that was run 25 years at Global, it started out with Johnny, myself, and Jay Durant was his name. I don't know if you remember the Jaybird.
I don't think so.
He went to Vancouver. I think he's still working in Vancouver. And then Dino came in.
Yeah.
And then actually there was a guy named Lee Godfrey.
I don't remember him.
Remember Paul Godfrey with the Jays?
Yeah.
You would see Paul Godfrey on the shows out in Michael Landsberg show and stuff like that.
Okay. Off the record?
Off the record. Yeah. And then Quinn Phillips.
Quite the run you guys had.
Yeah. Well, we didn't have a whole, for the amount of, we didn't have much turnover is what I'm trying to say. So,
because you did nights,
I worked nights all the time until the end.
Yeah.
When they fired Johnny and they fired Slav Kornick. So that's the other guy missing Slav too, who's still there.
But now he's back. Yeah.
Yeah. So I worked nights until they fired Johnny and Slav, and then I worked till 7.
Yeah.
Which to me was like, it was kind of in no man's land.
Yeah. You can't do much in that middle of the day shift, right?
Yeah. He started 10.
Did you like the night, like evenings?
To me, it was normal because I started in 1990.
Yeah.
Work until midnight. So then I worked 30, whatever, some years.
I loved it. Like I did it for 4 years with Struddy, then Dino. I loved got to go grocery shopping. Nobody's at the grocery store. You can do whatever you have to do during the day.
Yeah.
Heck, you could go golfing or see a movie.
Exactly.
Sleep
All
in.
that. Yes. And I mean, there was a time where, Gregor was, when he was working nights too.
Yeah.
Gregor and I ran pretty good together. Like I'm talking about, I don't know. It's probably 15 to 20 years, about 18 years ago, 15 to 18 years ago. Because he would get off and then we'd meet each other at it was either Devlin's on the rocks or Burns. And then because we didn't have to work till the next day.
Yeah.
Like later, didn't matter. So we knew all the bartenders too. So
that's more fun than what I had. I went home and watched Sopranos. Ate a big bowl of pasta. That was kind of my routine. But
man.
Yeah, no one else was really. There wasn't too many late night shows you and I should have been going out or something.
Well, you should have just joined us.
Yeah,
we would have got just ripped, snorted, and puking drunk back in the day. Hey, you know what's funny? I think popped up on an article from ESPN and I don't know who this guy is, but he's coming up for the draft, and his name is Jennings Dunker. Do you know anything about this guy?
I don't think so.
I'll send you the link on this. It's an ESPN.
Oh, the tackle.
So he is Jennings Dunker. He's 6'5", 320 pounds. And I guess he's known for 3 things: his mustache, his mullet, and what he eats, I think.
Yeah.
So he played at Iowa. He's a Hawkeye starting right tackle. But apparently he's all of his stuff is going viral for what he's posting and all of the things leading up to the draft. So other than that, I don't know a whole heck of a lot about him, but he talks about how much this guy can, how much he can eat. And it's quite the story. So it's something maybe for you to look at. And then he's obviously got tons of tattoos and stuff, but he's got a mullet. He looks like this guy. I don't know. So it's an ESPN article.
Yeah.
Have you got it punched up now?
I do know who you are talking about because I've heard people talk about maybe you kick him inside to guard.
Is he any good, this guy, or what?
Day 2 pick, second or third round.
Okay.
So, and then you're talking interior offensive lineman. I mean, when those guys get drafted, typically trying to think, like Quentin Nelson was kind of the one that really went high. Was it 5th or 6th of the Colts? But other than that, I feel like those guys usually slide down later.
Yeah.
And probably your second or third rounder. But I mean, you look at him and this guy looks like he's from the South and plays football, right?
So there's a
line.
line.
He's like the prototypical you want him at guard.
Yeah. There's a line in here. It says the Kelseys were so smitten with Dunker during their podcast. They likened his pre-draft display to a Westminster Kennel Club like best in show for offensive linemen. They slow-moed his 40-yard dash with his mullet bouncing to Leonard Skinner's Freebird, and had some other things going on in here. So I don't know. It's just an article that some things pop up to you.
Yeah.
When you follow some certain guys. And I was like, I don't know anything about this dude, but
it does kind of feel like there was the guy the Broncos took, I believe, and he had the big gut, and they talked about his diet. Because a lot of these guys aren't naturally as much mass as they do, right? So they have to kind of be gross in their diet and eat so many calories, and it's like can't eat that much, so you just blend it all together and force it down. I forget what he was doing, but it was something pretty nasty. And I think they did they brought the blender out at his pro day, and he showed them how he makes it up and stuff. And yeah, it's someone you're going to probably follow for the rest of his career, just because he's always going to stand out with that big red mullet.
I'd like to see where he gets drafted. When you're talking about the appetite, one of the first stories I ever did was a guy named Terrace Chorney, who ended up playing for the Eskimos back in the day. He was a big offensive lineman, but he's from a small town in Saskatchewan. And I did this story 35 years ago, ballpark. And he was playing in Nebraska. So he goes from a small town in Saskatchewan to be an old lineman in Nebraska.
Yeah.
And so I said to him, I said, like, what do you eat? And he went through the whole rigmarole about the training. They called it the training table. And So he said about how much he ate. And then I'll never forget, he goes, and then before I go to bed at night, I'll have a snack, maybe 5 or 6 hot dogs.
Just,
I just thought it was just the way he said it was funny.
just put him down.
Yeah.
That'd be all right.
Yeah.
So just the dunker guy, 5,000 calories per day to maintain his 320-pound frame.
Really?
That's that would be fun. They said last year he had to get on the fat bike. That's what it's called. He had to drop 11 pounds. He got too big. But yeah, I'm just kind of looking at the things he would eat. The night before a game, pasta, few rolls, steak, fruit. Then later that night, 3 burgers, 3 bags of chips, hydration mix, and a hot chocolate. The next morning, toast, Wheaties, pancakes, chicken breast, more toast, more chicken. It's nonstop.
It says here, he goes, let's begin with the mullet and his mustache. Each has a story of his own. I had it when I was like 16. It did not look good. I couldn't even really grow hair till I was 20. Like I didn't even have chest hair, barely had armpit hair. So this guy, he's going to be a funny guy that gets interviewed and whatever else. And he's fishing in these videos that I've seen. And
the social media team will love him. They'll just mic him up at training camp and during the game. Yeah, those guys are fun. It'll be a fun one to watch, I guess, wherever he ends up going.
Connor Halley in studio. Man, anything you want to press here? I mean, the Oilers last night, we talked about it for quite a bit, obviously, this morning, but they could finish still. They could get first. They could, but I mean, they need a lot of help.
Yeah. I mean, I think they have to take care of their business on Thursday night. That's the biggest thing because, let's say that the Kings beat Vancouver tonight, then all of a sudden you're going into Thursday in a situation where you could fall out of the top 3 in the Pacific and you're staring down the Colorado Avalanche. And I thought they played okay last night, like a pretty good job. Obviously, the crossbar and posts were the Oilers' friends in certain situations, but you're down Hyman, you're down Draisaitl, they're down Makar, so it'd be a fun series. I think maybe you'd rather see it in the conference final, but I mean, just handle your business on Thursday night against a bad Canucks team that probably is just ready to go golfing. I don't know if they're going to be too motivated to play spoiler at this point. And then
so loosey goosey. That's the only fear that I would have in that game.
Yeah,
that's about it.
You get Hyman out there.
Yeah, I would think if he's ready to go, he's going to play.
Get Draisaitl for the power play.
Yeah, just get him out.
Get him out there in his spot just for that shot.
Yeah,
a little less discombobulated on the power play. The 5-on-3 was like. I know there was some blocked shots, but man, like maybe throw it on net. Now, it doesn't have to be that perfect deflection backdoor. Like the shot selection at times was a little frustrating for me.
Yeah, $1.24. It's the number 1 power play still in the league without Leon Draisaitl, without Zach Hyman, but it's the number 1 PK unit in the league too with Colorado. They did a good job on the 5-on-3, and
they did their head coach too.
Yeah,
very impressive.
Well, without the head coach, you know what? And I was telling Speck though, if you look at the first goal that the Oilers scored, they had out Jack Ashawn and Blankenberg on the ice. And I believe it was coming out of a TV timeout. So to me, that was... is
that who you really want out there?
By Hackstall, I was kind of thinking, because it wasn't like a change on the fly or nothing like that. I don't think so. But, I mean, if you're Colorado... I mean, you don't want to play the Oilers in the first round.
No chance.
Just like the Oilers don't want to play Colorado in the first round.
And that's kind of like, I kind of threw it out there on the Gregor show. Like, do they really want Edmonton in the first round? Like, there's teams I think you'd rather go up against than Connor McDavid and, Hyman will be back. We know the firepower the Oilers have. I don't have to list off the names. We'll see about Draisaitl. But I kind of thought that, like, if there's a game Colorado doesn't care about, could this be it?
Yeah.
Evidently not. They found a way to win. What a shootout. I mean, the goals we saw were all quite nice.
Made 60 saves. The 2 goalies make 60 saves in overtime and 3 periods. And then 5 out of 6 goals go in a shootout. All good. Like and not stinkers.
Yeah. I watched the shoot. I'm like, okay, I can't blame Connor Ingram. I get his frustration at the end of the game. Like, tough way to lose, especially how good he was throughout the full 60 in the overtime. But
I think, I mean, I feel more confident about the Oilers goaltending situation right now with Ingram than I have for a long time here.
Last 2 runs, I would be with you.
And who knows what's going to happen for a backup? Who would you rather have for a backup right now?
Calvin Pickard.
Me too.
I don't even hesitate. I even thought that like last Saturday in LA, if Ingram couldn't go, I would have gone with Calvin Pickard.
Yeah.
I just don't have the faith in Jari right now.
I don't know. Yeah. And I assume that, Ingram was going to play tomorrow. Text 833 401 1440. Kenneth says, why wouldn't the Avs want to play Edmonton? They absolutely smoked them. Come on, Kenneth, wake up. Like, here's a situation where this is a team that's gone to 2 Stanley Cup finals.
Yeah.
And you have the options. And I'm not saying it's an option because who knows how the cards are going to fall here. You have the chance to play the Kings. You have the chance to play Utah.
Kings have what, 21 regulation wins?
You're taking those 2 teams over the Oilers 10 times out of 10 here.
And how many players on the Oilers roster do we know elevate their game in the playoffs, right? The other teams, you don't quite see that. To me, it's pretty obvious. If Colorado, give them truth serum, who do they want? They'd rather take anyone but the Oilers. Yeah. Maybe some of their divisional opponents who are quite good.
Hey, our Fantasy Frenzy NHL draft has been locked down for a long time. Hey,
who's Randy's running away with it.
Running away with it, Randy.
Yeah, so probably Friday morning we'll have to get his email and set up the e-transfer. In the meantime, though, we are going to get the playoff pool going.
Ooh,
now we just have to kind of.
What are we looking at here?
Well, those will be same style, box style. You could probably be heavy on the teams you think are going to go.
We better get on a bit of a run quick here because the Oilers could be playing Saturday here.
Oh yeah. Well, we're going to get going today, maybe.
Yeah.
Now, the question is, how many teams are we going to have? There's different costs associated with different amount of people. So do we cap it at 50? Do we think we'll get more than that?
Let her buck.
Well, we got to pay more. It comes out of the pot. I don't care. It doesn't matter to me.
You're not paying for it.
So we can put it up
to paying for it.
Duke's, well, he might make his donation.
No,
he hasn't had much success in these box pools.
He's had hockey pools have been my true kryptonite. I am nothing but a walking donation.
But never mind that.
And it's looking like I'm a walking donation in fantasy baseball this year too.
And he's got to save his money for the big lunch that he has to buy now.
I heard about that.
Did you? SKS came in earlier today. Like, all he did was he rubbed his belly. Like, he just, he's just going like, oh, I can't wait. Like, it's just embarrassing.
I wish I got the invite. Could have joined you guys. I was sitting right there, and SKS, he came out. He talked to Schlemko about it. I was sitting right there. I nailed the top 3. So
no one took McElroy in our draft
because you guys are dumb. McElroy maybe would have won it, but he wasn't going to finish last amongst the players picked.
Well, here's the thing. Like, it just went around the table.
Yeah,
and whoever felt was going to have, like, Duke was hot on Oberg right from day one. Him and MTR, they're in love with him. Yeah, but you took Oberg and he took Oberg. How do you not like? I mean, if you're picking in the top 3, you got to pick Scheffler.
Yeah, 100%.
Go with the odds, Duke.
This isn't like a pride thing. This is just not paying for lunch.
And now Josh probably can't make it for lunch because Donnie P is going to have to fill in.
So he can still go.
Well, no, because it's going to be right around. It'll be at 12:30 at the castle, the Sheshwan Castle.
We'll send him early. So is Donnie going for lunch too?
Well, no, Donnie's going to take Josh's place.
Oh, we'll make it work.
Yeah. What's coming up on the Jason Greger show today, big guy?
Great question. I believe Terry Ryan will join us for a segment. Dave McCarthy, Struddy, Spec, DVD, Cam Tate's 2-minute warning. Hopefully. He missed his deadline yesterday, and we didn't quite get it in. And Paul, sir, if you're listening, I'm going to send you a text shortly. Of course, plans get going tonight in the association. So
Paul was on yesterday.
Yeah.
So he's
host of Hoop City.
Hoop City. Yeah, exactly. So, all right, Con Man. Thanks, big guy. Have a great shows today with Fantasy Frenzy and the Jason Greger Show.
Thank you.
Honor Halley, and that's the Duke does that. I mean, I hear it too. That's just embarrassing, Duke. That's the game of the day brought to you by St. Albert Dodge, where the Jeep Compass 4x4, well, you can have them for under $37,000. There's actually 29 in stock now at stalbertdodge.com. When we come back, we'll wrap up the big program. Kevin Karius, Tuca Delburn, Josh Fenwick on Sports 1440 AM Radio. We're streaming on YouTube, X, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitch. Welcome back to the big program, 1045 in Edmonton, the home stretch of the Kevin Karius Show. The Duke was finding some stuff on the Buffalo Sabres during the break, a couple of old posts regarding our good friend Ryan Whitney.
Yeah.
And they've taken is it a billboard out?
I'm seeing a billboard, I assume in Buffalo, with just a picture of Whit and then a quote saying, I don't know when he said this, I have to assume it was back in the fall, maybe when the Sabres were just starting to turn it around. They're still not, and it's basically him saying, there is a 0.000% chance the Sabres make the playoffs. So they took that quote, Whitney's face, put it on a billboard in Buffalo. And then for those that are active on X, the Everything app, it's all happening on X. The Sabres also tweeted out that they have a Sabres admin, their social media admin, obviously, burn book, which is a reference to the movie Mean Girls, starring Lindsay Lohan, Rachel McAdams, Amanda Seyfried, Tina Fey, among others, back in the early 2000s. And the burn book is essentially just a compilation of everyone in your school or whatever, mean things you say about them, rumors, stuff like that. And I can't read what the alleged page about Ryan Whitney says because it's not fit for AM airwaves, but those that have seen the movie would get it. It's essentially the Regina George page. It's very funny. And listen, Whitney's having fun with it too. He said, okay, you guys are taking this too far. I'm assuming that we'll get more pictures of other pages as the day progresses, or at least I would hope so.
Yeah.
In this burn book. I'm all for this, right? Take your victory lap. You're in the playoffs for the first time in 14 years. But with that being said,
don't lose four straight here.
It's the first time in 14 years. Maybe cool it a little bit. You don't need to go scorched earth on everybody. When you have yet to win a playoff game. So credit to them. They win the division, the comeback, the turnaround, all these things. You cannot take it away from them. And even if it's just a division championship flag, the flag still flies forever. But the playoffs haven't even started yet. Maybe just cool it.
Here's one for you, Duke. Who do you think is receiving? I have to word this correctly for you.
Oh, boy.
Who's receiving a check here, when they get paid every 2 weeks, month, whatever, the 10th highest player, that's getting paid the 10th most amount of money in Buffalo this year.
Like on the other players?
Yeah, on the roster.
AAV?
I can't. Yeah, Joshy has it too. So it's a sort of a.
Is it Jeff Skinner?
Yeah, it's sort of a trick question. So he's not on the roster, obviously.
Right.
But Jeff Skinner, I believe, receiving 4.444
repeat
million, is the 10th highest player that's getting a check. And next year, he bumps up to 6.4.
Pretty good.
I'll be honest. I know last year he was very polarizing here. And I mean, he was bad, but he still scored 15, 16 goals here?
Yeah.
Whatever it was.
And in very limited minutes and role and opportunity.
Sat out lots.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're a team and you needed to find a guy that was 33 years old and pay him the league minimum, I still think that he would be someone you would look at, no?
Well, but then he lands in San Jose.
Yeah. And
right.
They cut him. I don't know, man. The Rig says, did you guys decide on which buffet you're trying? Duke responds, it sounds like the Szechuan Castle. It's like SKS's favorite. I wonder how often he goes there. How those sales guys, they put their cards in the middle and you guys buy lunch, I buy lunch, whatever, blah, blah, blah. Mm-hmm. I bet him and all his sales crony buddies go there to the castle and play the card game and everything.
I'm just seeing where this is actually located.
111th.
And about 156th.
Ballpark, yeah.
So it's not terribly far away.
Oh, it's perfect.
Well, perfect. Perfect would be down here in the mall somewhere.
Boy, it's going to be like a total gorge session, is it not?
Well, maybe for you.
Well, what are you going to have? You're going to have
I got to keep it tight.
You're not keeping anything tight over there.
Well,
stop it.
A, hurtful.
Yeah. Stop
B,
it.
maybe this is now that hockey season's over, it's much like Team Dean texted me earlier. I'm trying to get my stuff washed and put away, and people keep calling me, texting me, asking me to come skate. And I really don't want to. But I'm going anyway. Tomorrow night, back on the ice at Argyle. Or tomorrow afternoon.
I thought you said you packed it in.
I did, but...
Well, what about...
do you want to know the reality is, Kevin? I went last week just as a favor to our buddy Judah. Mm-hmm. He runs that skate, the Cookie Godfather. And I was absolutely lights out at that skate. So I feel like I have to run it back one more. I'm not a believer in going out on top. I'm a believer in you go out once you have no belief left in yourself. So if I get absolutely lit up here tomorrow, which is likely based on how well it went for me last week, then yeah, at that time I will say, Judah, appreciate it. Don't text me again until at least September, because the stuff's getting fully washed and put out on the deck under a tarp.
Fred says, let us all know when and where we'll show up for a group buffet. I'd love to meet MTR to discuss the Seahawks Super Bowl win. MTR says it'll be a pig fest. Eddie will have 5 plates.
Well, yeah, Eddie, I'm paying for it, so Eddie will feast.
I wonder.
I can't do drinks.
Not even one beer?
Well, maybe one beer.
Yeah.
One beer for everyone, and then after that. So I could not tell you the last time I've been to a legitimate buffet, as we discussed yesterday. Is it still a thing? Like when you buy your plate, you also just get a cup and you can go over and fill it at the fountain
Probably,
drinks
yeah.
as many times as you want or whatever.
I think so, yeah.
I can have unlimited soda.
Yeah, but you don't want that. Have a beer or something.
Oh, with Chinese food, I think so. Like Chinese food is one of
No.
those things that you gotta have a soda.
No. Just water, Duke.
Well, you just said I'm not keeping it tight, so what does it matter?
Well, I just hope they got the good ginger beef. there.
Oh, it's the best. You know, I love ginger beef. I really do. But I actually, and we've talked about this before many times with Laddie and all our food topics on In or Out. I think like the right spicy chicken, whether it be Kung Pao or General Tso's or whatever, the right chicken dish is actually the real cream, cream of the crop.
My mouth is just
But still,
watering right
Josh, real kindness brought us in some breakfast sandwiches
Yeah.
from McDonald's this morning. There's one chicken sandwich left in that bag for you, Kev.
Huh.
Did you have one
now.
already?
No, I had my muffin.
Oh, right,
normally.
because you said you don't like the chicken breakfast
Those are
sandwiches.
garbage.
No, they're excellent.
No, and
They're
I
really
had
good.
I had one of the hash browns.
Hash browns are excellent.
Poor Eddie. He'll eat 5 plates and then be hungry again in an hour. That's how Chinese food works.
Yeah, no, and Eddie especially. He's a quick. He makes his deposits in pretty short order.
Oh yeah. How about the peel? This is from Eli at the Castle. Excellent ginger beef and killer peel and eat shrimp.
I'm not the biggest shrimp guy, but I'll try it if it's renowned.
Cat Dad's got the acronym and it's bang on, is it not? But we can't read it on air.
Yeah, no, definitely can't read that on there.
Good show, guys. It was great. Coming up at the top of the hour, it is Fantasy Frenzy with
The former Roshep T-Bird.
Connor Halley and the Duke of Delburn. At 12 o'clock, it's The Lowdown with Ellen Mitchell till 2 o'clock when Jason Greger drives us home with the Jason Greger Show. We've got Blue Jays baseball. We'll join it in progress, but you're not going to miss too much of the game. We're looking at first pitch at 5:40, so you might miss an inning or two or something like that at the very most. So we'll have Blue Jays baseball all night, then Fox Sports all night, and we'll be back with you tomorrow morning at 7 o'clock. Until then, time now, though, for Sports 1440 update brought to you by All Star Construction. They shape and build Edmonton communities, specializing in underground utilities like power, gas, telecommunication, and street lighting. That's All Star Construction. Hey, thanks everyone for listening this morning. Thanks for being a part of the show. Really appreciate it. Oh, what's so funny now?
We missed this text from
Oh,
T&D. It said, add the buffet place to the list of bathrooms Eddie is banned from.
Yeah, and gas stations,
Yeah.
microwaves, everything.
Yeah. Eddie's face is going to be plastered across facilities this entire province wide between gas station microwaves, bathrooms, all these stops.
We
Eddie's
should-
not allowed.
that's gonna
Do
be-
not let this man in, and it's just Eddie's big head.
That's good. Thanks for listening, everyone. We'll see you back here tomorrow at 7 o'clock. Until then, here is the Duke.